This is a program for like legacy planning in the digital future, in the digital age now. And one of the things that I've been putting this together, I've realized is how different our world is in the last 5 to 10 years. When Walt and I created our will when we first arrived here, we really didn't put anything in there about our digital legacy. And in fact, that is something that we'll probably want to do now. The questions I wanted to raise today is, what is your digital legacy? And what should you do to manage and organize it? What types of digital assets should you consider? Considering largely, what will your family or heirs want to preserve? And is there anything you don't want your loved ones to see? What are your most important, cherished photos, music, etc.? And do you want to make sure that they have access to those? Are there any challenges and risks associated with leaving your digital assets unattended? And how do you grant access to trusted individuals now while safeguarding your privacy while you're still alive? So those are some of the questions we'll delve into. Our digital assets play an increasingly important role in our lives. And you do want to consider your digital content in your estate planning. And be sure you discuss what you want and don't want in your among your digital assets with your loved ones. I did a very quick inventory of some of the things that we'd be considering. A lot of us have online accounts with Microsoft or Apple or Google or Amazon. Social media profiles, maybe Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or not. Email accounts. Probably everyone has an email account at this point. And what should happen to it? Bank, credit cards, other financial accounts will probably be handled in your estate anyway, but you've got usernames and passwords that you want to keep secure. Similarly with shopping and online store accounts. Do you have cloud storage? Do you put things in places other than OneDrive or the Apple iCloud, something like Dropbox or Box or one of those storage places? Do you use streaming services? Some of the digital files on your computer that you want to pay attention to are your photos, your music or videos, and any of your documents. I don't have any cryptocurrency accounts, but if you do, you'll need to manage them in your digital legacy. I manage some websites, so I have some domain names that I want to take care of. I have lists of people that I want to make sure are kept secure and their privacy isn't damaged. And I have a whole bunch of devices. And one of the questions that will be is, if I want my family to be able to handle them, do they have the chargers? Do they have the passwords to get into them? So first thing I wanted to share is that our Congress and our legislators have paid attention to the area of digital legacy, and there is a law, the Uniform Fiduciary Access to Digital Assets Account Act, which deals with the access to your online accounts when you die or you lose the ability to manage that account. This link, which will be in the slides, which I send out after the session, or some of you received it the other time, will get you to that act, and it gives you must decide whether your digital assets and how they'll be preserved and distributed to your heirs, or whether they should be destroyed. And it prevents companies from disclosing the contents of your email and social media without your explicit consent. It also provides uniformity across the states for access to digital assets when a user dies or becomes disabled. And Maryland has adopted this law. Some other legal things you want to just be aware of is that most of the accounts that you log into, including My Erickson, has you agree to a terms of service when you sign in for it. And some of those may include provisions regarding the transfer or handling of accounts after a user's death or not. There are privacy laws, less for us, but more in the European Union, which affect how digital assets are inherited and managed. And there are legacy contact policies that some of the services provide provisions for what you do with your legacy contacts. So, who's going to manage your digital assets? That's one of the questions we all have to decide. Since I'm part of a couple, I'm assuming that my husband will handle them. But in his absence, who's the next one that I want to make sure has access? You can make your executor of your will also your digital executor, but you can also name someone separately just for that role. And some legal systems recognize the authority granted through power of attorney to also manage digital assets on behalf of the individual. Okay, so you can go ahead and specify your assets, how they can be handled in your regular will, regarding distribution, deletion, or transfer. And you can do that in, whatever will you've created. If not, there are some online tools, LegalZoom, Rocket Lawyer. I don't recommend any or not. You can also just create a specific document in Word, or just a document to address the management and transfer of your digital assets, and put that as an addendum or attachment to your will. You probably should review the online account settings and options, which are unique pretty much to each of your accounts. And one of the things you probably want to pay attention to are the usernames, passwords, and PINs, security questions, and any two-factor authentication you have. You can store this information in a password manager. I put the legacy information in the notes field of the password manager that I have, but you can also do it in an Excel file, or in a Word document, or in a paper file. You should be clear what you want your digital executor to do with each of your accounts. And different platforms have different policies, so your preferences may need to be explicitly stated. What are the challenges that a digital executor might face? Executors may encounter difficulties gaining access to these assets if you have not included specific provisions granting legal authority to them to access and manage your digital assets. And it's very important to have a current list of account usernames and password easily available to your digital executor. Also, clearly communicate your wishes to family members to head off any different opinions. One of the things that I have seen in some of the emails I've read is that there are folks who don't want their Facebook memorialized, or don't want their Instagram to stay on after they're living, and a member of their family, a child, wants to honor them by doing that. So if you have a preference, if you don't mind it memorialized, say that. If you want to make sure it just gets deleted when you die, you can just tell your loved ones or your family members that. Part of what you want to do is to pay attention to how many online accounts you have. Are there enough to warrant the use of an online password manager? I have that many. You may or may not. And look at your list of usernames and passwords periodically to make sure that list is up to date. And right now, do you have anyone else who can access that list? I'll have a sort of time for questions and answers toward the end of this, in which I'll raise that question again. So I'm going to go through how you work with a password manager to do this, and also some of the major companies. Besides a couple of different password managers, I'm going to look at Google, Apple, Microsoft, and the different ways that some of the social media accounts are handled. Okay, this is the password manager 1Password. And if you have a subscription to it, when you signed up for it, it created something called the 1Password emergency kit. Now, you can hold on to the secret key that it creates for you. And if you lose your password, you can use that to reset it. On the other hand, if you pass this along to whoever you want to have access to these passwords when you're no longer around or no longer able to, they will be able to create a password and get into all of your passwords that are part of 1Password. So you could save this to your personal cloud storage. Also, I would give it to someone you trust. Also, they suggest that you print a copy and put it in your safe deposit box, or with your passport and digital birth certificate, or with your will. Dashlane, which is the password manager that I use, has both two features. It has a sharing feature and emergency access feature. You can always just give a trusted person your master password, and that's probably the easiest thing to do. But another thing you can do is you can share individual passwords with someone with Dashlane. So I have a few passwords already shared with my husband and also with my daughter and son. There is also a part of Dashlane that supports emergency access. This one I find less useful, but it creates a snapshot with all your existing passwords. They call it a dash file. They give it you give it a unique password, not your master password, and you give this to a person who you designate. They can log in with your dash password and see that list of existing passwords. Now, if you never change your password and never add a new account, that list will be fine. But I find that in this day and age, passwords are kind of fluid. And so I find either sharing the individual passwords I care about or the overall master password works much better. And so, I've made sure that Walt has a copy of my master password. Now, Google has several things that they will do. If you've not used or signed into your account for at least 2 years, Google can delete the account and its contents, including any content within Google Mail, Google Docs, Google Drive, Google Photos. But 2 years is a long time. And even with that, right before, they're going to have tried to notify you probably at the 6-month period, a 1-year period, a year and a half, and a month before they do this. So if you're able to look at your account, you'll know that this is happening. They also have something called an inactive account manager, and you can specify what should happen to your Google accounts or data if your account becomes inactive for a certain period, and you can pick that period. And you can set up there trusted contacts who will be notified or can gain access to your accounts at that point. This is, if you go to Google and you either key that in or look for it in the help file, you'll get to the Google inactive account manager. In the slides, you can click on this and go there, but I'm going to show you, this is showing you the screen that you see. This is where you can plan what happens to your data if you can't use your Google account anymore. And here you can decide when Google should consider your account inactive. You can choose who to notify and what to share with them, because there's a lot of stuff that could be in your Google account, a lot of different things, whether it's your docs or slides or mail or your YouTube account. You could decide if your inactive Google account should be deleted. And those are things that you can make decisions on. For after you've selected a person as a trusted contact, you get this long list of things that you can share with you. You can select all, And actually, it's 3 screens that are this length, but I just am showing the first one. But you can pick and choose from the things that are shown here to put. You probably don't have all of them. I don't. To see which ones you would want to share or not. And then this is what it looks like, and the confirm the person to notify. You enter their phone number and you add a personal mail message that you would add to it. And you will have picked at this point the time period, and how long your account has to be inactive when that email will be sent. I think I put 3 months because I can't imagine going 3 months without going into my Google account for something. I mean, I get Gmail, I get mail into it every day. And so I would want to read that mail. So if you save that, you would then be confirming the person, and they'll get that email at that point with the information they need. And this is the slide. If you decide whether your account should be deleted, when they'll notify any contacts you've added, and if you or not, they will have 3 months to download a copy of data that you selected. And after that period, even if you didn't add any contacts to be noted, Google will delete your account and its activity and data. That's because I picked 3 months as a time period. But I saw in their notes that they'll try to reach you any number of times before then. And you can anytime go in and delete your inactive account. You can stop it if you decide. It's a little toggle that you turn it on or off. And I don't know if you can see where my cursor is pointing, but this is delete your inactive accounts, and you would toggle it on if you want to use it or not. Now, Apple provides an option for users to designate a legacy contact through its legacy contact feature. When you designate someone, you generate an access key to send them. After your death or incapacitation, that designee provides the access code and a copy of your death certificate. So it's after your death for Apple to review. And upon approval, the legacy contact receives their own Apple ID that can be set up and used to access your account. At that point, your Apple ID and password will no longer work, and the activation lock is removed from any of your devices that use your Apple ID so that they can get into them. This is my Apple account. So I clicked on that. Then you want to click on your picture. So that when you get into iCloud. And when I click on that, I will see here an iCloud. Where is it here? It goes to your Apple ID settings. You want to click on your Apple ID, which is over here on the right. And when you do that, you will get to this Apple ID set of information, one of which leads you right to Legacy Contact. I thought it would be easiest to show a series of slides to show you how you would do that or where you would go to that. And then you go in there and it prompts you to go through and what to do. Microsoft, each of these, of course, has to be different. You need to give someone access to your Microsoft credentials before you die, or put them in your password manager or list of usernames and passwords. Because you don't need to contact us, is what they say, to let us know that someone has died or is becoming incapacitated. If you know the account credentials, you can close the account yourself. If you don't know the account credentials, that account will be closed automatically after 2 years of inactivity. So, however, if you've got an email account, so not your OneCloud or any of that, but you've got an email account, you can use their next of kin process. This only includes emails, address, and contact lists. And your heir needs to email the msrecord@microsoft.com, which is the Microsoft Custodian of Records, to start the process. And they will be asked to provide copies of your death certificate to gain access to your Microsoft account. The easiest thing to do is to, if they have the access to your account, they should be able to get into your mail as well. So, but if you haven't given anyone that, mail is the one thing that they could get access to. Facebook has the option to appoint a legacy contact for your main profile, who can manage that account after your passing, or can request the removal of the account. So you can choose to either appoint a legacy contact to look after your memorialized main profile, or to have your account permanently deleted from Facebook. I have a cousin who's still on Facebook and has been there for several years, but there's been no notification about him having died or not. So if they don't know that someone's died, that account just sits there. Instagram also offers the same memorialization feature, where an account can be memorialized upon the death of the account holder. But here, if you see an account that belongs to someone who's passed away, you can request that they memorialize the account. And if you're an immediate family member, you can request that the account be removed. Once memorialized, the account will just have the word remembering next to the username. All existing posts and videos would then be visible, but no more posts could be uploaded. So no one would be able to log into that account, and the profile wouldn't appear on the Explore page. But if someone searched on it, it would just have the word remembering next to it. Twitter allows for the deactivation of accounts by an authorized person. Their information, this is a verified immediate family member or person authorized to act on behalf of the state. And that information is in their help center. So if you click on help, oopsie. The picture I had here does not display. So if you go to Twitter and you click on help, you will get to their handling of legacy accounts. Okay, Social Security. Now, of course, Social Security, it would be part of your regular estate. For those of you who do use Social Security online, you can do an advanced designation, which would give someone that you trust a designation they can receive and manage your payment accounts if you become incapacitated. So this person would be called the representative payee. And this payee is responsible that ensure the payments are used for your needs. And so that is what they have that is as part of the same type of a thing. So you could continue to advance designation here and fill in the information and make sure you put in their phone number. Now, I'm putting this list out here again. You would want to create your own list of digital assets using your own categories or the ones provided on these slides. You may want to also include a summary sheet as well. I'm suggesting you keep your usernames and password list up to date with notes, including authentication and security password hints. And make sure to list your computer admin password as well. Identify where you keep information on your computers, whether it's in documents or photos. Maybe this is the time to put all of the files you create in folders under documents, not including the Google Drive and OneDrive files and other cloud sources, because you probably want to put a note on how to get to those cloud services as a note in your listing of items. And make sure your executor or trusted person has access to this information or can find it easily. There are a bunch of companies that specialize in digital legacy planning. I'm not really a fan of any of them, but they're interesting to look at. Afternote creates a platform for creating a digital will where you can specify how you want your online accounts to be managed after your passing. It allows you to make your last wishes known, leave messages for your loved ones, and even create an autobiography if you want. This is a free thing. I don't know how long it will be around. Several of these companies that were started around 2015 are no longer in business. Afternote is now. SecureSafe is a secure online storage service that's like a mini password manager. If you're going to use it for your passwords and you have 50 passwords or less, and you only want to store about 100 megabytes of material or less, you can share access with designated individuals for free. Rather than going to the paid version of this, I would recommend using a real password manager because it works somewhat the same way. But they do have this free version, which is a good choice for if you have 50 passwords or less. Cake, it's actually joincake.com, but they call themselves Cake, is an end-of-life planning platform that includes digital legacy. And so you see that that's a piece of it. Okay. So one of the things that came out as I was working on this is the concept of de-virtualizing. If there are really important things that you currently have online that you want to make sure your family members have, you can download that content and put it on a thumb drive or send it to your loved ones now. Your favorite photos, tweets, blog posts, videos, or songs you've uploaded. And that term is now de-virtualizing. It was a new term for me. I found this cute chart, which I thought was something I'd share, and we'll go over it again. I guess actually you can unmute now and answer these questions or raise your hands. How many are so solid they're way ahead of what's in here? They have a written plan in place that they keep up to date. They've sat down with their family members to tell them how to access the information. They know what they want and they value it. How many of you were there?
I have.
Yes.
It's Deborah.
I'm there.
Yeah, Deborah.
I have done it. My daughter is my executor, and she knows where I keep a written copy and 2 other places that I have it, so she has access.
Congratulations. That's fantastic.
I don't know how up to date it is, but I'm trying.
Yeah, and that's the big challenge for all of us, because the online world is not a static world.
Yeah.
How about solid? You have a written plan in place that you update at least once a year, and your trusted contacts know where it is. Very good. I see at least one person. You're getting there. I've started writing a plan, but I haven't involved anyone else in it. Okay. You think about it from time to time, but haven't written anything down. That's a few more. You've thought about it, but you don't have the first idea to how to begin. Well, I hope after this you have an idea of where to begin. And the last one I thought was fun. Plan? What's a plan? I don't need to talk to anyone about it. My family will know what to do when I'm gone. That one, I'm afraid, probably just won't work.
Yeah, I hope that's why I have one in place, because when my husband died, it was really hard for me and impossible in many cases, to access his digital profiles and things. Yep. I finally just gave up and I thought, I'm not doing this when I die.
Good job. Okay. The handout also that will come with this also gets you to a bunch of different files that I thought were worth passing on. Interestingly, the Europeans have dealt with this far more, perhaps because of their EU privacy laws, but there is a Digital Legacy Association that you can look at and see. They have conferences and meetings and things and good information. So the Guardian magazine had a really good article. Legacy could have put out the 12 apps for end of life and other articles. At least one of these is in Spanish, but you can just click on English at the top and it will translate the article immediately. So that's what these are. So that is, I believe, the end of the slideshow, and so I can stop screen share. Okay, and we can have more of a conversation about this. And are there more things that we could do to as the CHUG group or anything to help in this process? But I think the thing is to be aware of what you've got. One of the things that I did do is I have created a Word document that's sort of a cover sheet to pass along to my daughter and son now that gives them an idea. So I recommend something like that is not a bad starting point. So any questions or comments? Joanne?
Yes. Oh, Hope, thank you for this presentation. This is such valuable information. I so appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I have done a lot of this, but I see there's more I can do. I would like to know, may I share this information with my sons?
Of
They
course.
should be doing legacy planning too. They're in their 60s.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
I will be sending out these slides and I'll see how the recording came out. We'll put that out too. But yes, you certainly are free to share
Yeah, I
this.
can just send them copies of the slides. That would be great. Thank you.
Just to be aware, this is a work in progress because things change.
Oh, I wish they didn't change so much. Yes.
Okay. David?
Just something I wanted to throw out there. I guess it's true of Apple and the Wintel hardware, is the physical layer. If your machine, the PC that the person's using has a password in the hardware, that's something you want to include.
Yes. Yes, that's always access to the devices.
Right.
Yeah, that needs to be in that list of things.
Okay, I just wanted to comment that along with that, I've actually had my daughter sit down and log into these different accounts that I have.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Using my notes with passwords and all that, just to verify that she can do it.
That's a good idea as well. But thank you for attending, and I will send you off the slides. So
thank you very much, Hope. This was
You're
Yeah,
helpful.
thank you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.